Namaste viewers, welcome to Degula channel. In this episode, we will see the concept, the idea of God in Buddhism. What is it about God? How it is viewed in Buddhism. But before we go to the details, I request you to please like, share and subscribe to my channel. Thank you. In Buddhism, the concept of God as understood in many other religions, it does not play a central role here. Instead, Buddhism focuses on some kind of personal enlightenment, then ethical living and wisdom. It emphasizes on the teachings of Siddhartha Gautama. He is known as Buddha. He is seen as an enlightened person, enlightened teacher, enlightened guru. He is not seen as a god. Buddha is seen as an enlightened guru or a teacher, like this. So the nature and definition of God in Buddhism is slightly different. In general, if you have to talk in general, Buddhism does not have a creator God, or it does not have a supreme being that controls the universe. There's no somebody is standing there and then controlling. Instead, it says the universe is operating, a universe is happening according to some natural laws. They call it as samsara and karma, something like this. And this enlightenment comes from understanding and overcoming suffering. You have to understand and overcome the suffering. That is what Buddhism teaches. Buddhists who follow Buddha, they believe in the achieving of Nirvana, the possibility of achieving Nirvana. Nirvana is a state of liberation, and again it is, just as in Hinduism, it is a freedom from the cycle of birth, death and rebirth. Punaravrutti Rahita Shashwata Brahmaloka, something like that. Avrutti Rahita means liberation from the cycle of birth and death. But in some traditions, Buddhist traditions, there are some gods, there are some deities. They call them as enlightened beings, enlightened humans. They are called as Bodhisattvas. Bodhisattvas, who are, they are compassionate beings, compassionate persons. They are committed to help others attain enlightenment. Like they act as gurus. Strictly, they are not gods in the sense of being creators or rulers, but they are the spiritual masters. They are spiritual masters. So now, if we have to go to some specific, spiritual masters, one was called as Avalokiteshvara, Bodhisattva of compassion. He is one of the most important bodhisattvas. He is an embodiment of infinite compassion. There is no limit to his compassion for all beings, all living, non-living, every beings. Some cultures, like it is this Buddhism went to China also. In China, as Guanyin, and Japan as Kannon. Kannon. They call in China Guyanyin, and Japan as Kannon. Avalokiteshvara is like he is revered in both male and female forms. Avalokiteshvara doesn't have any gender. He is not male or female. Both you can perceive him as both male and female forms. Then you have one more called as Maitreya. Maitreya means it is known as future Buddha. He is the prophesized future of and a prophet like thing, in the future Buddha, who will appear on earth to bring enlightenment to all beings when the teachings of Gautama Buddha have been forgotten. So that means when at the end, or when everybody have become some, he will rise. He is a new guru, and he will appear on earth, and he will bring enlightenment to all beings, and he will propagate the teachings of Gautama Buddha. Maitreya is often depicted as a benevolent figure waiting to descend to earth. He is there. He is waiting to come to earth. This is how Maitreya is described. There is one more called as Brahma and Indra. So this Brahma and Indra, they find place particularly in the Mahayana and Tibetan Buddhism. There are several versions to Buddhism also. In this Mahayana and Tibetan Buddhism, these two are deities, Brahma and Indra. Of course, it looks like they have come from this Indian Hindu cosmology. However, this Brahma and Indra in this Buddhism are not seen as ultimate gods, but they are beings within this cycle of samsara who can offer guidance to humans. So they are all teachers only like this. And there is one god known as Yama also. In Tibetan Buddhism, Yama is the god of death, just as in Hinduism also. There are a lot of other religions also who have gods for death. They call them in different names, in Greek, in Aztec, and all cultures. It is the Egyptian culture. Everywhere this god for death is there. So this god of death presides over the Bardo. It is called as over the Bardo, the intermediate state between death and rebirth. So now some being dies, then it takes another form. Between these two there is a particular state. This state is being this state of existence is being controlled by Yama. So now the duty of the Yama is he judges the actions of the individuals and determines their next where they have to be put, where they have to be born, or which life has to be given to them according to their karma. Again, this it's a karma theory which is also being propounded in Buddhism. So in general, deities in Buddhism are not worshipped as omnipotent beings or something. Instead, they are respected as enlightened beings, or spiritual masters, or spiritual guides who guide people on the paths to enlightenment. The focus in Buddhism is on self-effort, meditation, and understanding the what they call it as Four Noble Truths and the Eightfold Path. Four Noble Truths and Eightfold Path. This is another set of things in Buddhism. So viewers, while Buddhism does not have a central god, a god figure, certain branches do have them as deities, bodhisattvas, gurus, and some supernatural beings also who aid in spiritual growth. So, ultimately, for Buddhists, it is enlightenment, ethical living, and compassion for all beings. It is the core value for Buddhists rather than devotion to gods. Yes, with this small insight into the Buddhism, we conclude this episode. I hope this is quite interesting. Please like, share, and then subscribe to our channel. Thank you.